uphill section, and you need that lower gear just to blast it out of one up the hill. And we've got a car off. Car off track, Ty Dillon at the keyhole, what's affectionately known as the keyhole, turn 2 at the top of the hill. And that was just an easy spin and an easy off for one of our championship contenders, and a man who was really in the thick of it last weekend at Watkins Glen.
Yeah, he was in the middle of a lot of things last weekend. Let's see if he just trying to carry speed right there. Didn't sound like that he missed any shift or he got any wheel hop or anything there.
Brandon Jones in the 33 just loses it like this. And it's not the first time we've seen it at this corner, DJ.
Seems to be an action spot there, trying to carry a lot of speed. You could see he just never got his car where he needed to be, a little too high there. They're checking to see if there's something on the track, but I think this is just a matter that, you know, drivers trying to make this a higher speed corner than what it's actually capable of doing.
Taking a peek inside. Crafton.
How about Kyle Busch, Vince?
Kyle Busch around the outside in the gray, and we've got a spinner. It's the 07 of Ray Black Jr., and I think Mason Mingus might have caught a part of that 07 as well. Caution at Michigan.
We talked about challenging these trucks out in traffic.
Yeah, but maybe they get that pushed out and have a chance to have a good run.
Ray Black was by himself there in the middle. Mason Mingus committed to the outside. Ray Black Jr.'s truck slid up the racetrack, caught Mason Mingus up towards the wall.
Well, it's a tough break for Mingus because he had nowhere to go, and that was certainly no fault of his own, that damage. Move on Kyle Busch.
Yeah, if he makes some moves. Oh, we got another spin. Ray Black Jr. around once again.
That's inside turn 3 into the grass.
Caution is out.
Black Jr.
Can you roll?
Looks like he's going to be able to get it back to pit road into the garage, but a lot of damage.
Still coming at you.
On that 07 of Ray Black Jr.
Left rear tire down.
Second time he's brought out the yellow today.
Oh, we got a crash behind these guys. Big crash.
Talk it out. Talk it.
Cody Coughlin, the Jegs truck, into this. Ben Kennedy.
Trying to come down pit road if you can here.
So another caution. Well, we've had 3 bang, bang, bang. Some serious damage done to the 54 of Cody Coughlin.
Told you they're going to get serious, and that's what happens when you get aggressive, especially with the experience level of Cody. Might not have been his fault, but he might have gotten put into a tough position, couldn't come out of it.
But doing a nice job running up in the top 15. First time here with Kyle Busch. Mason Mingus, we had some damage earlier on that 15. What happens here? Look at bottom of your screen. The 54 gets a little bit loose, chases it up the hill, gets by Cameron Haley. Spencer Gallagher does an awesome job getting by. Tyler Young going around the outside. Ben Kennedy tried to go the same route. Unfortunately, Cody Coughlin came up the racetrack right in front of Ben Kennedy.
We talk all the time about how difficult it is to run that bottom without getting loose, and that was a great example of it. Cody probably never been in that position. It's time to go late in the race. Look at him. He dives to the bottom.
It's so inviting down there. He's got a whole lane down there. He knows he can go faster. Unfortunately, just lost that downforce. Caught Ben Kennedy up against the outside wall.
You talk about so inviting. Look at this opportunity he sees. Look, I'm going to dive right here.
All I got to do is get in the throttle. Oh, but I get loose.
Great job by Spencer Gallagher. You saw Spencer was the first truck there. He elected to go low. Look at Johnny Sauter. He's made his way into the battle.
It's a wreck. Crafton and John West Townley getting together.
There you go. Good save. Keep coming. There's debris over there. Just keep racing. We're still green. A big piece of debris
Still
over there.
green, but
Still green.
A championship save. Wow. Watch what happens from there.
This gets loose, has to chase it, runs up into Matt Crafton, turns him around. Look at the job Matt does here. Completely sideways up there with no grip.
unbelievable.
That's some drifting right there. Look at the move Austin Dillon makes to try to grab the lead away from Blaney.
Remember, no out of bounds here at this racetrack.
Watch Crafton. I'm going to win a championship. Oh, no, I'm not.
That reminds me of the synchronized spinning we had with Johnny Sauter and Ron Hornaday at Kansas a few years ago.
Did you see those back tires? He had them lit up trying to keep that thing out of that wall.
If Crafton ends up winning another championship, he's going to look back at this race because there could have been all kind of disaster for him. Multiple occasions he's avoided disaster here.
Look how out of shape he was.
At least 45 degrees sideways, and he saves that truck.
Series at Michigan International Speedway.
Kyle says, good job, Jerry. That's Jerry Baxter, his crew chief. Looks like Spencer Gallagher has another truck issue as he came to turn 3 on the last lap. See what happened. Racing alongside Reddick.
Cameron Haley on the outside. Ooh, just gave Spencer Gallagher
a
shot in the back end.
Looked like Gallagher tried to cover the spot that Haley was committed to. You can see Haley's trying to get to the outside.
Watch the back of this truck when he gets air underneath it.
Remember, this is already the backup truck for the 23. They had to go to the backup in practice.
Speaking of the backup, wow, back of that truck up in the air.
You see the roof flap bouncing, but not coming up like it's supposed
Sessions.
to.
However, when he was able to keep that orange Toyota on the race course this weekend, he has been very fast. He's got a road racing background, and if he can keep...
Welcome back. We're running at a slower pace, and it's not good news for the 20 Sun Energy 1 Toyota of Kenny Habul.
Just after he came by the entrance, you can see that tire goes down as he's trying to make that last corner.
Did not pit on the opening cycle, and that put him in a very prominent 6th position, and then it all just went away from him. It was a reasonable opening day. However, he was extremely frustrated qualifying, just with generally the handling of the car. Take a listen. This is what it was like for Kenny Habul.
You could hear him really in the throttle. He did not want to get stuck in that sand trap because he would still be there having to be pulled out. Would have lost
Before we went to the break, watch this. JJ Yaley, Boris said in behind. JJ's already lost it, and Boris kind of bulldozes him a little bit, gets that 28 out of the way. Dakota Armstrong sneaks through on the inside. Daniel Suarez in there as well. Nobody else contacted the 28. But check this out. Watch this. Woo, Michael Self. That was a spin that didn't happen.
Yeah, nice save right there.
And then this, while we're in the break, Bubba Wallace lost it all by himself going into turn 9 at the top of Thunder Valley, and he was able to successfully navigate his way out of there. Generally, you don't see that here at Mid-Ohio.
Yeah, he did a great job of getting out. Usually you start...
Guess what else we've got going on track? Oh, there's somebody off there at the top at turn 2, and it is the 88 of Ben Rhodes. He's going to do his best, but that car's starting to bury. The 88 goes no further. He was 19th when this happened up at turn 2. Leads them into turn 1. Elliott Sadler puts him in. Oh, we've got a crash. We've got a spinner in turn 1. It's Kenny Habul in the 20 for Joe Gibbs Racing. The Sun Energy 1 car went around, and it looked like he may have had some help from behind, tagged in the rear. Running 16th. Boy, Kenny Habul has been beaten up today.
Yeah, just as Kenny was trying to power up and get through turn 1, things jammed up. You're back there in the 7th, 8th, 9th road.
Course race. Dakota Armstrong is in the tire barrier.
Track back up. Come on.
Was running 17th at the time.
Oh, you can see he just got that right side tires off in the dirt just a little bit on the strips there. Lost traction completely. So far for Regan Smith.
Oh, we got a drama out on track. We got a couple of things happening. One car running slow. The 70 in trouble as well up at turn 9. It's a hot spot. Derek Cope did a good job to gather it back up and get it pointed in the right direction.
His pit box was going down the pit lane, had contact with the 24 of Eric McClory, damaged the left front corner of his orange Toyota. They're going to try to patch it down. You see here on the screen, that's the bright orange car. That is Daniel Suarez coming out of the very, very congested pit lane, and he made the contact to the back end of Eric McClory's blue and silver car, trying to turn in to that. Here's Chris Buescher's zest on board as he has to really jam the brakes. You see the contact with Daniel Suarez.
His patient champion. He's racing for Laney Roll. Drama for Boris said. The 54's on the grass on the downhill slope on the backside of turn 5. And Boris is not one to have done that by himself. We'll find out on the replay if there was help. It usually is. Here it is. Here's the replay. Boris said. Oof, yeah. Who was that immediately behind him? It was, I think it was Jeremy Clements, was it? Or it might have been the 28 of JJ Yaley.
You talked about as we have JJ Yaley spun around here. See if he can get it going, keep us from having another caution. Looks like he's going to get headed in the right direction.
Was Daniel Suarez involved? No.
Well, he may have been just from the standpoint of pressuring. We saw the great racing that they were having there, and sometimes it makes you try to get there and carry a little more speed to try to keep that spot.
From Elliott Sadler. Whoa, and look at Wallace. Wallace is on the grass. And does he hit his Roush Fenway teammate? No, he doesn't. But there's, oh, look at this. There is a huge collision. Kenny Habul, Tommy Dreesy in it. And the 33 as well.
You got Brandon Jones there, right in the middle of that.
So I guess our question is answered. It's not for the final time.
No, but Ty Dillon made a great pass there on Chris Buescher to take that third spot away.
Tommy Dreesy. And he's going to need a little help. Getting the straight out of Compton 26 back to pit road. That run. Look a little bit to the left of your screen. Look towards the back there. And this is it.
Yeah, and things started getting jammed up here in front. You can see everybody in Kenny Bull there had to start slowing down, tried to avoid, but he made the first contact there.
He took evasive action, but in the end, unfortunately, he hit his JGR teammate, Boris said.
Yeah.
Look at that monster car, center of your screen, the black car. Look further back. There's Kenny Bull. Goes, trying to go up the inside, then came switching back across. Collected Boris, and there's Tommy Dreesy, last to arrive on the scene. This is on board with Kenny Bull.
Yeah, looks like he might get off course here just a little bit. Let's see if he does that as he tries to come back on as they slow down. See, he gets off, and then, yeah, as he tries to brake hard, car's just out of control, gets in Borsed, and then things stack up from that point. Look at Regan Smith trying to get to the bumper here.
This is not over yet. Nobody's giving this race to Alex Tagliani. Most importantly, Regan Smith. He felt he was robbed of a good result last weekend. He knows he was robbed of a good result last weekend at Watkins Glen. And this, oh, one last ditched effort as he gives it to Alex Tagliani.
Oh, he knocks him out of the way.
He sent Alex Tagliani wide. Regan Smith right on the second last corner will win Mid-Ohio. A little bit of short track racing on a road course. Let's relive it. Let's look from above. Tagliani was a little wide there.
He was, yes he was. Yeah, I think he got caught looking in the mirror maybe just a little bit, missed his line. Regan Smith took advantage of that opportunity.
Look at that. And it wasn't like it was a massive slam. It was just a little nudge.
No.
It was enough to just put Alex Tagliani off balance and grab that win.
Turn 4. Yeah, you see him coming off turn 4. Everything looks fine. Has to chase the car up the racetrack. Gets loose. Real similar to what we saw here in the first race where he overcorrected and got into the wall. This time he just let it spin. No big deal. But when he got in the grass, it just destroyed the front end of the car. So it forced him to go to a backup car.
Around early into the apron is a 55. David Regan slides onto the apron back up in front of the field.
Yeah. Spin around, get it spun around here.
And the caution comes out before they get out of turn 1. Regan in the 55.
So he's on the bottom of the racetrack. The car just comes around. That's the car on the outside of you is always pulling air off. And when you have these great big spoilers and you have these rear fascias, the change between being behind somebody and next to somebody is really, really big. So it just pulled all the downforce off the car. David Regan lost it.
You know, what happens when you put this big rear spoiler on the car is you depend on a lot of side force, which is basically the right rear quarter panel. You're leaning against it like a crutch. You're leaning on it in the corner. But when a car goes to your outside, what do? They kick that crutch out from underneath you. You lose the grip, the right rear slides, and that's what you saw with David Regan. He started to spin to the bottom.
And he was loose. I mean, he was loose almost before he even got to the corner. And really, really early in the corner, he was loose. And think about it. This is on a start. They're not running 199, 198 miles an hour yet. This is on the start of the race. So as the speed picks up, it will only get worse.
Let's see you clear middle. You see him up there. There you go. Come on, spin on the bottom.
13 way up the racetrack.
Harris never got going. He just didn't get going for some reason. Trouble.
And behind him, they're sliding around. The 15 of Clint Bowyer can't afford to have a bad finish. Kicks into the inside wall.
Get it rolling when you can. Get it rolling when you can.
Little damage to the back of the 15. He cannot afford to have a bad finish. In the top 16 in points, but barely. Take a look at what happened as they came out of turn number 2.
Yeah, right here in the middle of the pack, the 15 car trying to find some room, trying to make it 3 wide. thinks he's clear up to the right, starts to move up against the wall. Ryan Newman's there, catches him in the right rear quarter panel, turns him into the outside wall, and from there it's just a slide back to the inside.
He tried to let off the brakes, get it turned. He knew he was going to hit that inside wall. He tried to get it off. He's back in the gas right there, but couldn't keep it off the inside wall. And again, as you mentioned, 15 car and Clint Bowyer, they do not need a bad race. They were running well. The performance was good, but this wreck is really going to hurt their opportunity to make the chase.
He was running 11th when the accident happened. 63 points ahead of 17th. So he's got a little bit of cushion, but he's way too close to that cut line for a problem.
You see him lifts a little bit underneath the 42. Yeah, I think they hit. I don't think he tried to go to the outside of the 42. I think they made contact, and that moved him up to the outside. You saw him turn the wheel the other way after he got hit the right bigger since I counted. So obviously it's pretty important to get this car back out there.
Possibility of a championship. Tony Stewart sliding out of turn number 4. And the caution comes out again.
He was one of those cars that were running extremely hard for that chase spot. He was 21st when he spun.
There's Tony Stewart coming through 3 and 4.
Gets up the racetrack, just gets loose. Car comes around, stays in the throttle to keep him going up against the wall. Then he locks it down. Never hit anything.
And no one hit him. A one-car incident that brings out this, the 7th caution of the day. 10 is the record number of cautions at Michigan. We still have 64 laps to go.
You know, there's a skill to this. He is once he got out of control, he didn't quit driving. You saw 21 get in the wall trying to avoid him, but Tony didn't quit driving. He stayed in the throttle. Once he had the car in a position where he knew it wasn't going to go back up against the wall, then he just locked it down. And then when the car went low, he turned the wheels to right, let off the brakes. There's a skill to that. You're not just along for the outside. Look how loose he gets right here. The only thing that saved him spinning out was the wall. He ended up getting the right rear. I think he got the right rear in the wall right here. That pulled him back around. Look at this. Saved it. Never hit with the right front. Lost a lot of spots, but it could have been a lot worse.
If you see a green line, that means that they have won. And around goes the 48. Jimmy Johnson around again.
Looks like he has damage on the right front.
And the caution comes out for the 8th time. Car as well. Take another look at what happened.
Just lost it all by himself, like we saw Tony Stewart do, very similar. They got in the grass, and the grass is what damaged the nose. So he lost it all by himself, and the penalty for being in the grass, it just destroyed the front end, much like we saw with Kyle Busch in practice. But you know, this team isn't in sync. They're not running well. They don't have the speed. They're making mistakes. You know, they've found a way every year to be better when the chase started.